believe that this house believes that Optimus Prime should rule the world. I, as a fan myself, do not concede to the fact of wanting to make this motion stand, Mr. Speaker. I have identified three main issues in today's debate. First of all, the corruption of leaders. Second of all, the leadership. And third and final of all, the trust of the people, Mr. Speaker. Now let's go on to the corruption of leaders straight away. Now we see, they said that leaders can be corrupted by women, money, and etc., Mr. Speaker. We see that Optimus Prime can be corrupted too, physically, mentally, and even sexually, Mr. Speaker. We have talked to you about it from first speaker until right now, Mr. Speaker. Now let's see on the point of physically, Mr. Speaker. We see that the Earth is 70% water, it rains all the time, it's just not suitable for Optimus Prime to live here on Earth, Mr. Speaker. Well, we see that metal have a tendency of rusting, Mr. Speaker. We do not want Optimus Prime to be in front of the conference of the world, Mr. Speaker, and then he's just talking there, I am, and then you're not going to just oil him in front of everyone. People can see that he has flaws, Mr. Speaker. People can see that he is easily taken down by rust, Mr. Speaker. And we just don't want our main leaders to be rusting on television. It never happened before, and we do not want it to happen. Please sit down. Okay, and on the form, in the context of oil, Mr. Speaker, we already have a problem of oil, Mr. Speaker, in Iraq and all that, Mr. Speaker. People are already fighting for oil, and now we're giving it away free to this one Optimus Prime, Mr. Speaker. I can see to the fact he is awesome, yes, I know. But then we do not want to give the oils to him, Mr. Speaker, because we need the oils ourselves, Mr. Speaker. They have never even replied to that, Mr. Speaker. And on the term of lightning, please sit down. The term of lightning, the third speaker said something about physics, Mr. Speaker. He wanted to sound smart, Mr. Speaker. But what we see here is that you cannot get struck by lightning while you're falling. What are you talking about? You have to be on the ground to get struck by lightning. And it wasn't even raining when Optimus Prime went down on the parachute, Mr. Speaker. You have never even seen Transformers. I, as a fan, am offended, Mr. Speaker. Yes.
How do you know what type of metal the Optimus Prime is made of? How do you know it can rust? How do you know it can be struck by lightning?
How do you know that it cannot, Mr. Speaker? Now, okay, please sit down. Now let's see, Mr. Speaker, on the term of mentally, Mr. Speaker, how can he be corrupted mentally? We have talked to you about how dictatorship happens, Mr. Speaker. When a thing, okay, let's call him, when awesomeness, okay? Let's call him awesomeness. When awesomeness rules for too long, Mr. Speaker, in their head they'll think that everyone likes them, Mr. Speaker. And then, but in the meantime, no one actually likes them because they're dictatoring, they are ruling for too long, Mr. Speaker. And the problem here between dictators of humans and dictators that come from Autobots people, Mr. Speaker, we see that people can take down humans, and the problem with Optimus Prime, he's huge. He's 3 stories high, Mr. Speaker, and no one can take him down. What will you do? What you gonna do? Huh? What you gonna do when Optimus Prime dictators the world, Mr. Speaker? Please sit down. So they concede to the fact that no one actually dares to go against him, Mr. Speaker. And we see that they are actually agreeing to us, Mr. Speaker. No one will dare to go against him, and that will just make everything worse, Mr. Speaker. We have proven to you that even the most morale people can change, Mr. Speaker. Megatron, he was one of the top primes, Mr. Speaker, in his world. And what did he do? He killed the others, and he let Optimus Prime actually live, Mr. Speaker. I will go on to the case after this because I am an FBI. Please sit down. Now, on the term of sexual, Mr. Speaker, we see that Wheelie humps Megan Fox, Mr. Speaker. Now, okay, they said that we don't see testicles on Optimus Prime. Well, how do you know that they're not special? How do you know that they don't have testicles on the back of the head? Huh? How do you know that they don't have that, Mr. Speaker? Because we never saw the back of Optimus Prime's head, Mr. Speaker, in the movie. How do you know? That's all I want to ask. So we see that they might have testicles, but just in the wrong places, Mr. Speaker. Maybe wrong to us, but not wrong to them. Please sit down. Maybe it's weird that you guys have it on. Alright? Please sit down. Now, on the second point, Mr. Speaker, the second issue of today's debate, the leadership. We see that Optimus Prime actually comes from a world that is destroyed, Mr. Speaker. My second speaker has proven to you that in the 5 primes, 3 were taken down, 2 survived. How did Optimus Prime survive? We as the FBI are so concerned about this, Mr. Speaker, because we are suspected that Optimus Prime actually correlated with Megatron. Here's what we think that has happened, Mr. Speaker. Optimus Prime, please sit down and tell me the story. Optimus Prime, Megatron, the other Prime. And then they worked together to kill the 3 primes. But then Optimus Prime got greedy, and then he wanted people to think that this happening in the world. Sit down. And then on the point of that, they said that Optimus Prime actually ran away to get help. To get help for what? His world was destroyed when he went, Mr. Speaker. So we don't see that what kind of help are you talking about? Because you can't revive a world with a cube. Because you can revive that community, and maybe he will revive it on Earth, you never know, and then you'll be dead. What are you going to do about that? Please sit down. And then the concern for humans, Mr. Speaker. They said that Optimus Prime has concern for humans. He betrayed his own kind, Mr. Speaker. He ran away in order to help, Mr. Speaker, but we don't know why he's helping because that world is dead, Mr. Speaker. So that he ran away. That was from his own kind. What about us, Mr. Speaker? What do we mean to him so much that he needs to protect us, Mr. Speaker? Please sit down. All of you, hands up, please sit down. Okay, now, on the point of better technology, Mr. Speaker, why do we even need better technology? It was not invented by the government team, Mr. Speaker. And we see that we do not actually need better technology, Mr. Speaker, because the technology that we have is enough, Mr. Speaker. Now, on the back to the concern for humans day, we see that in iRobot, in Terminator 1, 2, 3, in Meet the Robinsons, all of the robots were created for good, Mr. Speaker, but lastly they turned bad. They went against a human because they knew they were the superiors, Mr. Speaker. And even people have the leadership skills. Why don't you just choose people that people can actually take down, Mr. Speaker, if they become dictators? Why do you want to choose Optimus Prime? Besides the fact that he's awesome, but he just creates more harms than benefits, Mr. Speaker. On the third issue of trust, for the people to elect him, we need trust. Now, the suspicion that we have given to you that was not tackled by the government team here today is this suspicion of Optimus Prime working together with the other Prime to kill all the 3 Primes, Mr. Speaker. You get what I'm talking about? Yeah, okay, you got what I'm talking about. Okay, we see that this suspicion will actually make the people not trust him, Mr. Speaker. Prove to us how the society will trust him enough for him to take over the world. We're talking about the world, not just a certain country, the world, affected by everyone, Mr. Speaker. Now, with that, I would like to point out to you that I have stated out 3 things: corruption of leaders, leadership, and trust, and I leave you with a secret.